Hi, grade fours, it's Ms. Purdy. I am going to try a lesson this way today. I'm using Smart Notebook, which is the program we usually use up on our smart board. So as I'm going along, I'm going to pretend that we're at school and I'm showing you a lesson kind of how I would on the smart board. The only difference is obviously if you ask a question, I'm not going to be able to hear you. Or if you give me an answer, I'm not going to be able to hear you. But I'm still going to pause at certain spots and ask questions and see if you can answer either out loud or in your head. All right, let's give this a try. So today we're going to be looking at relating multiplication facts. Okay, so let's take a look at this little picture here. It says, how many children are there altogether? So go ahead and count them. If you can't see clearly, there's 4 here, and 4 here. So how many children are there altogether? Oops, sorry guys, wrong button. There are 12. I just have to make this smaller so everything fits. Okay, so there are 12 children altogether. I know you all would have gotten that. All right, next question. Why can you solve this problem by multiplying? Well, you can solve it by multiplying because there are equal groups, right? Each group has 4, and when there are equal groups, we can multiply. So if you were writing an answer there, I'm not going to write out each one, guys, but you would say there are equal groups, so we can solve it by multiplying. What multiplication sentence would you write? I can hear some of you saying it out loud. Well, there are 3 groups. 1, 2, 3. And there are 4 children in each group. So we would say 3 times 4 equals 12. Okay. Now, suppose there were 2 more children in each group. So each one's going to have 2 more added on. How would the multiplication sentence change and why? Let's look at what parts might change. Would the 3 change? No, because there will still be 3 groups, right? What about the 4? Yeah, the 4 would change because we're adding 2 more. I'll just draw some little stick people in here. So now instead of 3 groups of 4, we have 3 groups of 6. Okay. And 3 times 6 is, everyone? Awesome, 18. Okay. All right. So how much greater would the product be? We've already figured it out. Remember, the product is the answer when you're multiplying. Okay, so how much greater is this product from our first one? Well, it's greater by 6, right? We know because you had to add 6 more. But without even figuring it out, we would know that because how many people did we add on? We added on 2, 4, 6. Okay, so the product is 6 greater because we added 3 groups of 2, and 3 groups of 2 is 6. So we had our 3 times 4 to start, then we had our 3 times 2, our 6 added in, and that gave us our 18. Okay, oh, let's hide some of that. All right. So it says to model the multiplication fact 5 times 5 equals 25 with counters, sketch your model. All right. Rather than me drawing it out, I'm just using the sketches that came with our Math Up program. All right. So here's an example. Okay. When it says model with counters, it means just draw little circles. So we've got 5 times 5 equals 25 because you can see there are 5 groups. Each group has 5 in it. All right. So that's the model. If it says model with counters, that's the model for 5 times 5. You could have put them in a straight row. It doesn't matter. Okay. How could you use your model to figure out 2 other multiplication facts? So that's what we're doing today. We're taking facts that we know. Most of you can figure out 5 times 5 equals 25 quite easily. 6. You're really good at counting by 5s. And we're using what we know to figure out some other facts that maybe we wouldn't know. So here's an example that one kid said. This kid said, I could figure out 6 times 5 by just adding another group of 5. So you can see there's the 5 groups of 5 that we had. And this kid has added one more group of 5. So that would be 6 groups of 5, or 6 times 5. And that equals 30. Okay, they didn't have to count them all up because they already knew that this was 25. So all they had to do was add another 5 on. It makes it a lot quicker and easier. Another thing you could do, this person said I could figure out 5 times 6 by just adding another counter to each group. So here's what the groups looked like before, what's in the blue, and then they added the red counters to each one. So now instead of 5 in each group, there's 6 in each group. So there's 5 groups of 6. Okay, so 5 times 6 is 30. Again, they didn't have to count everything. They knew that. Sorry, I'm messy. That was already 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Okay. Oh, that's it for that page. All right. Hopefully this makes sense so far. If it's not, maybe go back and rewatch it. It's hard for me to tell when I'm not seeing your faces if I'm going too fast or too slow and so on. Okay, but I'm going to go to the next page now. So if you think you need to hear that again, just rewind it. Okay. Okay. Okay, so this question says choose one of these multiplication facts, and you're going to have an activity like this today. That's why I'm showing you up here. Just like in school, what I show you on screen is almost always exactly the same kind of question you're going to get in your daily work. So you're going to be asked to choose one of these multiplication facts and model it with counters. So let's suppose I chose 5 times 4 equals 20, and here's how I modeled it. Okay, you know, I'm going to make it a bit bigger maybe. Okay, all right. Okay, so here's my 5 groups of 4. 5 times 4 makes 20. All right. And then it says, how could you use your model to figure out 2 or more other multiplication facts? So it's not telling you what other ones to figure out. It's just saying, starting with your base of 5 times 4 equals 20, what other facts could you figure out? Okay, so here's an example one person did. They said to figure out 5 times 6, I'd put 2 extra in each group. So that's what they did, right? They have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 more, these red ones, all right? And then they said that's 10 more than 20. Remember, just the blue ones we know are 20. And then if they're adding 2 more to make 5 groups of 6, that's 10 more counters added on. So 10 more than 20 is 30. All right, so 5 times 6 is 30. All right, another person said to figure out 9 times 4, I'd add 4 groups of 4 counters. Okay. So here was our 5 times 4. Right, we know that's 20. He wants 9 groups of 4, so there's already 5. He's adding 4 more groups of 4 here, and he knows 4 groups of 4 is 16. So all together, 20 plus 16, everyone, 36. All right. Another thing you can do is doubling. So this last person said, instead of doing 5 times 4, they figure out 5 times 8. So what they had to do is double each group. So there's the original, our 20, and they're just doubling it now to put 8 in each group. Okay, see all these doubled. So there's another 20. So 5 times 8 is 20 and 20, which is, yes, 40. Good job. Okay. All right. Okay, a couple more, guys. The other thing you can do is take away. These people are all adding on. But if it's a number that's close to a bigger number, you know, you can take away. Let me show you what I mean. Okay. I'm going to put the screen on again, just so it's easier to see what I'm talking about. So this one, the question says, choose another one. For example, this person did 2 times 10 equals 20. Okay. So here's our two groups of 10. 10, 10. 2 times 10 is 20. I chose that one. I'm going to have to make it smaller again because I'm not seeing the whole thing on my screen. Okay, hopefully you guys can still see it. All right, so it said, how could you use your model to solve 2 or more other multiplication facts? So they want to figure out 2 times 9. Well, they already know 2 times 10 is 20. So to make 2 groups of 9, they're just Xing out 1 in each group. So now it's 2 groups of 9. Instead of counting them all up, you know it's 20 to start, you're just taking away 2, okay? So 20, take away 2 is, yeah, you got it, 18. All right. This person added on, okay? Again, they had their 2 groups of 10. They knew that's 20. They added another group of 10 to make 30. All right. Now this one, you don't have to just take away 1. You can take away more than 1. So this person wanted to figure out 2 times 8. So they needed to take, they knew it was 20 when it was 2 groups of 10. They're going to take away 2 from each group. 1, 2, 3, 4, which means they're taking 4 away. So they started with 20. They took away 4. How many do they have? 16. So when you're doing your activities today, you might be adding some on. Oh, gee, there's another one. What fun, my friends, that there's another one. Isn't that awesome? Okay, if you think you know what you're doing, I think you can probably go ahead. But if you want to see another example, then stay here. Okay, so this is how, when it says explain, I know some of you have a hard time explaining your thinking. This one is saying choose 2 of the multiplication facts below. Describe how you could use another multiplication fact to calculate each fact. So this one's choosing 8 times 8. That's a tricky one, guys. That's one they have to memorize. Not many people are really good at counting by 8s, myself included. Okay, but they're thinking, well, it's close to 80. It's close to 8 times 10. It's 8 groups of 8, but they're going to draw, oops, come on, 8 groups of 10. Okay, so they've drawn, all the blue ones are 8 groups of 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 rows, each row has 10. They know that's 80, right? You guys know 8 times 10 is 80. But because we're only looking for 8 times 8, we're crossing off the last 2 in each row. We don't want 8 rows of 10 each, we want 8 rows of 8 each. So we're getting rid of 2 in each row. So we're getting rid of 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. All right, so there were 80. We're getting rid of 16. Okay. If that's not easy math for you to do in your head, do it how we did it in school. Take away the 10 first. So now we're at 70. Okay, and 70 take away 6 is 64. I almost said 84. 64. Okay, so you can take away different groups as well. Quickly, just let's look at this one. I think it's very similar to the one we did. So this person is saying for 9 times 9, they would do 10 times 9, 10 rows of 9, okay, because that's 90. Then they would just take one of the rows because you don't want 10 rows of 9, you only want 9. So they're taking off a whole row of 9. So they have 90, take away 9, which is 81. Cool thing about the 9 times table, the answers always add up to 9, the digits. So 8 and 1. So if you're ever doing something times 9, it's a kind of quick way to check if maybe you're on the right track. If they don't add up to 9, go check your answer again because it's probably not right. All right, guys, hopefully that helped. Let me know if I was talking too fast or too slow, or if it made sense. Like I said, it's really hard when you're not here to ask questions and answer, and I can't really tell who's understanding it and who's not. So please let me know underneath the lesson. Leave me a comment and let me know the speed and does it make sense and stuff like that. And the activity attached that you have is very similar to the ones on these pages. So if you get stuck, go back and watch the video again and try to find one that looks similar to the one on your activity and solve it the same way. All right, good luck, grade 4s, and I will talk to you later.